Okay. This is my Uncle Salvi. Uncle Salvi, where were you born?
I was born in Mexico.
Mexico. What year?
1924.
1924.
So I'm double 39 plus 4.
Plus 4. What city?
State of Jalisco.
State of Jalisco. And what city were you born?
In what city?
Yeah.
Born in a town.
In the town?
Santa Maria, Jalisco, Mexico.
Santa Maria.
Jalisco, Mexico.
Okay. And you entered the service, and how did that happen?
I went to the service in World War II. The war broke out on December 7th, 1941, and I didn't get drafted till 1943. And I was in the service from 1943 to 1945, 2.5 years. 2 years, 5 months, 19 days.
Wow. And how did that come about, you getting drafted?
World War II.
World War II?
World War II.
And you tried to enlist voluntarily?
I tried to enlist. But at that time, World War II, you could not enlist if you weren't a citizen. So I tried to enlist, and nobody would want me until Mr. Roosevelt sent me a greetings. You've been drafted. Okay. So I went in.
Yes.
All right. So I took my first basic in Camp Wallace, Texas. When I finished my first basic, a lieutenant came around asking for volunteers to go to the paratroopers. I said, well, I would like to go, but since I tried to volunteer before, the services, they won't take me. And the lieutenant says, yeah, we'll take you now. So I joined the paratroopers. So there I go to Fort Benning. I take my basic in Fort Benning. Okay. I go to Fort Benning, I take all my basic, and while I was taking my basic, I was almost done, we were getting ready to go overseas, when my dad got hurt here at the mill. So they sent me home on a 10-day furlough, because my dad had gotten hurt. So then I missed the one that I had originally been with in the airborne. They went to Hawaii. I found out later that that's where they ended up going to Hawaii. When I got back, they put me in the 551 Parachute Infantry Battalion. They had just gotten back from Panama. They were down in Panama, and I joined them here in the States when we were shipped to Europe in 1943. And that's when I went to Europe. We landed in Oran, Africa. We went to Naples. From Naples, we went to Rome. From Rome, we went to all through the battles of the southern Italy, clear down to the tip of the Italy to Messina. In Messina, we crossed the strait into Sicily. Then we went all the way to Palermo, Sicily. Then we came back up north by Rome, and we got prepared to go to make the parachute jump into southern France. So we made August the 15th, 1944. So we made the combat jump in 1944 in southern France. You hardly hear about that campaign, but it happened. It's in the history books. We got through up to the Pyrenees Mountains. We were up in the Pyrenees Mountains. We were the longest battalion that has stayed up in the front lines, up in the mountain, before we got relieved by Japanese. Believe this or not, we were relieved by a Japanese battalion that relieved us up in the Pyrenees Mountains. Now they made a name for themselves also, this Japanese battalion. Oh no, okay, so then we come back to Nice, and we got shipped to north of Paris, where we prepared. We were going to prepare to make a jump into Germany, and that's when the Germans broke through in Belgium on the 16th of December, 1944. So instead of making a parachute jump, they used us as regular infantry to stop the Germans in the Ardennes. So we were there from the 16th of December till the 7th of January 1945, when an artillery shell, fragment from an artillery shell, did me in. So that's when I got wounded on my thigh. So I ended up going to England for 3 months in a hospital recuperating. The war was still going on when they sent me home. And we were halfway across the ocean on the 12th of April 1945 when they announced over the intercom that Mr. Roosevelt had passed away. So then we got landed in Boston, Massachusetts. From Boston, Massachusetts, I went to Battle Creek, Michigan. From Battle Creek, Michigan, I came to, I can't remember the Army depot here in Chicago. From there, they sent me to Fort St. Houston, Texas, in San Antonio. And in San Antonio, I got discharged from there, from San Antonio. They sent me home from there in 1945. That's the end.
That's it. Could you tell me a little more about these books?
The 551, we were in the Battle of the Ardennes. This one here. We were in the Battle of the Ardennes, Battle of the Buldge, on the 7th of January 1945, about 8:30 in the morning, is when I got wounded. We were making a final attack on the Germans to push them back out of the Ardennes. That's when I got wounded. Now this outfit got disbanded because there were so many casualties that the battalion wasn't worth the bring it back to its full strength. So the survivors were placed in other airborne outfits. So that's why it's called Messengers of the Lost Battalion, because we fought so much to be recognized, because our colonel got killed in the Battle of the Bulge and nobody could speak for us. And that's what this book is about. And this one, The Left Corner of My Heart, by Dan Morgan. That one also there explains what went on during the Battle of the Bulge. And that's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about...
well, then we got the citations. I got that citation from Belgium, from the government of Belgium, for our gratitude of what we did in the Ardennes. This one here, we got this from Belgium. The 551 Parachute Infantry Battalion. We were finally being recognized. Okay. And then over here we got the Presidential Unit Citation. The Presidential Unit Citation. There's very few people get recognized with this one. And we were one of the ones. The 551 Parachute Infantry Battalion, Salvador Valdivia. Excuse me a minute. Now they hung up. Okay, and over here, it's got the history of what I went through in the Ardennes, Battle of the Bulge. On the, it's got the whole write-up of what we went through in there.
All right.
And that's it. And that's me when I was a baby.
And that's you. All right.
That's me when I was a baby, and that's me with my family.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's me with my family. This is my wife Isabel, Susie, Bonnie, Benny, Marcella, Junior, Aaron, Philip. This is Marcella, right? Mm-hmm. Margaret.
All right.
The baby.
The baby.
The baby. She wouldn't shut up until they snapped the picture, and then she shut up. Yeah, she just cried and cried and cried. The minute they snapped...
That was it. Okay.
That's it.